Hello, my name is Alison David, and I am one of the exclusive Midwest Matchmakers. Today, I am going to be sharing with everyone one of my favorite stories. I've been a matchmaker for almost 10 years now. And so in that time, I have accumulated a lot of funny stories, good stories, heartwarming stories, that kind of thing. I'm part of Midwest Matchmaking, which our parent company is Omaha Love. That is where we started off in 2009. And we have since expanded in the last year to service singles throughout the whole Midwest area. I've been with the company since 2010, personally, and I've really seen that growth firsthand. When we started off, we really worked with singles mainly in the Omaha area. Every once in a while, we would get someone from Lincoln or even, within an hour from Omaha, but it was still mostly Omaha. And the reason why we decided to expand Omaha Love into Midwest Matchmaking was because over the last 3 to 4 years, we've had many people from all over the region contacting us, from Sioux Falls, Sioux City, Des Moines, Kansas City. We've even had people from Chicago reaching out to us because they liked that we had a different approach from some of the big brands there that are available in the bigger cities. So it's really cool to see how we've grown. And whenever I tell people that I'm a matchmaker, first, they don't believe me, really. First of all, they always kind of laugh and don't believe that that's a real thing. But they usually have one or two things that they say. The first one would be that they always ask if that's how I met my husband, and it is not. We did not meet through a matchmaking service. We kind of met through a matchmaker friend, I suppose. But the other one is that people always say, "Oh man, I bet you have some really great stories." And I do have a lot of great stories. And I love being able to share these stories. And what occurred to us, we probably should start sharing our stories with the rest of you as well. Midwest Matchmaking is still only in its second year officially, but we've been around for 10 years now. Omaha Love is celebrating our 10th year in business. So we have 10 years of stories to start sharing with you guys. And so we're going to do that over the next couple months to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. Some of these will be happier success stories. This one that I'm going to share with you today is always one that makes me laugh. And it is one that did not end very well. So I'm not going to be sharing real names or specific dates or anything like that. I think this one was around 5 or 6 years ago. So I'll kind of get in and tell you a little bit about them, the process and everything and how it all worked out. But we're going to call them Jim and Tammy to protect their innocence, or not so innocence, I suppose. Jim was a really successful businessman. He was kind of second generation. He was working with his family business. He was divorced. He didn't have any kids. He was a very nice, kind of traditional, kind of had that little old school vibe to him. A little bit of a stubborn streak. He wasn't too fond of taking advice because he kind of felt like he knew what he was doing when it came to dating and relationships, and he was using our service really just to meet the kind of woman that he was wanting to be introduced with. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes we do work with some people who do need to tweak a few things, and maybe that's why they're not getting past those first and second dates. And that's why it's really great to work with a matchmaker, because we're able to see that behind the scenes activity and offer you that advice that you may not be getting in your day-to-day life when you're out dating through apps and online sites. Tammy, she was more in her early 40s, I believe. She was divorced. Her kids were kind of getting close to those teenage years. She was very outgoing. She worked in sales. She's the kind of personality who could talk to anyone, a little feisty, a little spunk to her, very much kind of tell it like it is. She wasn't shy, and on paper, these two were a really great match. They had a lot of things in common. When we say it's a great match on paper, we mean that we literally have a checklist. We want to make sure that when we're sending you someone, that you guys have a lot of the things that you both consider to be very important in common. And so for both of them, it was important that their matches both be Catholic, because it was something that was very important to their family-oriented, and strong family bonds was also something that was very important to them. A lot of things that we hear from our clients throughout the Midwest, those are things that are important to a lot of people we work with. But for them, it was also similar backgrounds, similar age range, that kind of thing. So on paper, it seemed like it was going to go really well. So we set up the date. When we set up a date for any two people, we suggest that they only meet for coffee or cocktails for that first introduction. Unless it's something where working with our clients in the Midwest, sometimes we even do a Skype date. If he's in Des Moines and she's in Kansas City, then they might just Skype for that first call rather than driving for a coffee for 4 hours. That seems a little silly. It's little little less investment, I guess, if that makes sense. So that way, if it doesn't go well, if you guys know a couple minutes into it or 20 minutes, that it's not that connection, you guys aren't feeling those warm and fuzzies that you hope to feel on a first date, that you're not locked into a long time period. So we set up the date for these two. He had sent me an email a couple days later saying, hey, I forgot. I had this rehearsal dinner for a family wedding that night. Do you think it would be okay if I asked her to go with me as my date? And I said, no, I don't think that would be okay. That is a lot of pressure to put on a first date to say, meet me and meet my whole family while you're at it too. So I suggested that he not do that. And actually reschedule a date till later the following week or a different day, something along those lines. He didn't want to do that, so he went and called her and he asked her and said, hey, you want to be my date to this rehearsal dinner? And she agreed. So that right there, you can kind of see how this date is not a traditional what we would tell people to do. They kind of broke the rules, so to speak, and we're setting themselves up to fail a little bit. That said, he also picked her up. We always suggest too that our clients, while we do background checks and screenings and all of that stuff, and everyone we work with is a safe person, we suggest you do meet there separately rather than picking one of the persons up until you know each other a little better. But he did pick her up. So that was like strike 3 of things we say don't do on a first date. And they were having a really good time. It started off wonderful. They actually were enjoying each other's conversation on the way there. They were having a good time. He was fitting in wonderfully with his family and really was enjoying their company. They liked her. And about an hour into their date, which again, we kind of say max it out at an hour, but they just kept going with it. She got a phone call from one of her children, and it was an emergency, and she needed to leave to go home to assist her child. And he wasn't thrilled about that because that meant, he's there at this family fair. They hadn't eaten yet. He was going to have to leave to take her. They kind of argued a little bit about it. She said, well, I'll just call a cab. And he was like, no, I'll just take you, but kind of begrudgingly about it. So apparently he was moping and kind of driving her home. And about halfway home, he made some comment that kind of just set her off a little bit. And she got very upset. So they ended up having a full-blown argument in the car, yelling at each other, screaming, all that stuff. And she said, pull over, let me out of his car. I'm not going to stay in this vehicle with you any longer. And so he did, and he literally left her in a parking lot. She called someone to come pick her up, and I got to work the next morning, and we had an angry voicemail from him and a really upset email from her, and I got to spend that day cleaning up the mess, so to speak, a little bit of, what I've told these two people, hey, this is not what we would advise you do. So it was a really fun day for me. Probably less fun for either of them because, it's really disappointing to kind of feel like things are going well and then all of a sudden it just goes very, very wrong. Luckily, we here at Midwest Matchmaking are pretty good at our job. That doesn't happen very often. And like I said, they were hitting it off and it just was really just a bad combination of things that went very wrong and to the point where it wasn't salvageable as a connection. We usually are going to set you up with somebody that you can at least enjoy spending an hour with, getting to know each other, even if it isn't a love connection, you're going to maybe have a potentially friend, that kind of a thing. So this is just one of the funnier stories. As you can see, I kind of pointed out the things that we suggest you wouldn't do on a first date. We ended up with her. She actually married the very next guy that she met. Several months later, in fact, I think they were married within 6 months of their first date, which is kind of out there and fun, but it happens sometimes when you know you know. He went out on a few more dates and still kind of stuck to that stubbornness. And as far as I know, he may still be single. I don't know. It's been a few years. These guys, they both came to us because they've been doing the online thing and it wasn't working for them. This was before Tinder was even around, or the online apps and all that stuff. This is really, when people said online dating, it was really online dating. So, they didn't have all that time to sort through profiles and weed out the people that weren't a good fit, the things that we do for you. So, if you're sick of having bad dates and you're looking for an alternative to the online world and the apps and all things like that, Midwest Matchmaking is here for you to help you out with that stuff. We sift through the bad profiles for you. We set you up with people that you're going to have a good connection with. And we also take care of all the details and make sure that you're going to be setting in a safe environment and tell you what not to do to avoid having a really bad date like the one that I just shared with you guys. We obviously have a lot more fun stories that I'm going to be checking in with you you over the next couple months to celebrate our 10-year anniversary and sharing with you. Obviously, next time I'll make sure I'll send you a happier love story, but there's always the fun ones. We got to get those out there and share them with you guys more. And hopefully, if you hear something that resonates with you and you think, hey, maybe I should give them a call, please do that. You can visit our website at midwestmatchmaking.com. If you're within the Omaha-Lincoln area and you're single and you're watching this, you may want to contact our sister company, Omaha Love. That's omahalove.com. And you can also just connect us through email, Facebook. You can message us any way that you're comfortable reaching out to us. We'd love to answer any questions you might have. And all of our consultations are completely complimentary. So there's nothing to lose by giving us a phone call. So I forward to chatting with you guys more and sharing more of these stories with you. And we do have an event in the Omaha area next week, which you can see on our website. It's going to be a singles event for singles 45 plus at Mott's, which is a wine shop. It's free to attend. You just cover whatever you eat or drink. And we have over 60 people signed up right now. So if you're thinking about checking this out, that might be a good way to kind of dip your toes into the water, so to speak. And thank you for watching. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, we'd love it if you would like, comment, or share this video. It's always good to have people help spreading the word. So thank you guys. Have a good afternoon.